Emergency. Archangel Michael mentioned a former friend by name what they're doing in secret. Will it began at exactly 3:33 a.m., the hour of divine unveiling. A stillness lingered in the air, one not of peace, but of pause, holy pause. And in that holy pause, the veil thinned, the heavens stirred, the wind stood still, the spiritual realm shifted like the turning of pages in a sealed book. It was then, at that exact moment, that Archangel Michael entered with urgency, his voice not echoing in volume, but echoing in power. He did not come with vague warnings. He came with a name, a former friend, a name you knew, a name you trusted, a name you once smiled to, prayed for, confided in. And now, that very name has been called out in heaven, not as friend but as revelation. A whisper once ignored has now become a divine alarm. This message is not for the masses. It is not for the casual. It is not for the spiritually numb. No, this message is only for the spiritually awake, for the chosen one, the set-apart one, the one who has sensed something was coming but couldn't name it until now. Because heaven has named it. Heaven has named them. And what they are doing in secret, the manipulations, the masks, the words spoken behind closed doors, they are no longer hidden from divine sight. The Spirit of the Lord declares, heaven sees the unseen. Heaven hears the alert. Heaven is about to reveal what you were never supposed to carry in confusion. But before the exposure, there must be stillness. Yes, God demands stillness before He uncovers. Stillness in your words. Stillness in your reactions. Stillness in your assumptions. Because it is not your mouth that will expose them, it is His hand. The Spirit said clearly, this is divine interception. Be alert. Alert not in fear, but in discernment. Alert not in suspicion, but in wisdom. You are being invited to see beyond the surface, to hear beyond the noise, and to feel beyond the offense. This is not about what they did. It is about what God is doing now. Type I am anointed in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. Archangel Michael has been dispatched with urgency. This is not a drill. This is not imagination. This is not coincidence. This is an emergency in the realm of the Spirit, and it has pierced through into the natural. Archangel Michael hath been dispatched, not casually, not gradually, but urgently, for your sake, for your protection, for your awakening. The hourglass of exposure has already been flipped, and the sands are pouring quickly now. In the next 72 hours, secrets will no longer stay buried. Motives will reveal themselves through unintended words. Spirits will clash where smiles once lived. You will see it. You will feel it. You will know it. But hear me, this message does not come to every ear. It is not meant for every soul. It is not broadcast in public squares or shouted from rooftops. It is sent through divine channels and delivered into prepared hearts. Only the one chosen to receive it will recognize it. You will not hear this by accident. Your spirit has summoned it. Your inner man has been crying out for answers your mind couldn't form. And heaven has answered. A divine name was spoken and yours is entangled. Heaven doesn't just see what they are doing. Heaven sees how it affects you. You have been caught in the crossfire of a secret plot. You have been drafted into a battle you didn't start. But God will not allow you to remain uninformed. The heavens have dispatched Michael because the war has intensified, but so has your protection. The Spirit is no longer whispering. The season for whispers has ended. The Spirit is thundering now. The warning bell is ringing in the realm of glory, and it's vibrating through the bones of the watchful. Do you feel it? That sudden dis-ease when their name comes up. That invisible tension when they walk in the room. That spiritual nausea when you sense something isn't quite what it seems. Yes, heaven confirms, you are not imagining it. The war has begun. Is not the kind of war fought with visor effect. No, this is a war fought in silence, in stillness, in sight. The kind of war where God says, watch closely. Say nothing, but know everything. You are being invited into a divine strategy, one that requires no performance, one that demands no reaction, one that empowers you to invoke silence and invite clarity. Let silence be your fortress. Let stillness be your sword. Because what you do not speak, heaven will shout. And what you do not expose, heaven will uncover. Invoke silence. Invite clarity. Heaven sees the unseen. This is your time to move like the wise, like the discreet. This is not your time to confront. Not your time to explain. Not your time to beg for peace from the one who secretly prays for your downfall. This is your time to witness. You observe. To discern. Because the Archangel has drawn his sword not for conversation, but for cleansing. He has come to guard the gates of your assignment, to shield the scroll of your destiny. He has come to war, not with people, but with principalities that have tried to slither their way through familiar faces. Do not underestimate this moment, and do not overestimate their loyalty. A friend in the flesh may still be a foe in the spirit. The person they pretend to be in front of others is not who heaven just revealed at 3:33 a.m. Do you remember that dream? The one where you felt surrounded but couldn't see who was attacking? Do you remember that sudden anxiety, that feeling like someone had prayed against you while smiling for you? That wasn't paranoia. That was spiritual discernment. That was your divine interception. And this message is your confirmation. Be still. Be discerning. Be silent. But be awake. What they've done in the dark will soon collide with what God is doing in the light. And the impact will not be quiet. Type I am chosen in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. Something doesn't feel right when they walk in the room. You can't always explain it, but your spirit knows. The energy shifts, the atmosphere dims, the peace leaves as quickly as it arrived. They speak kindly. They laugh like they used to. But beneath their warmth, something cold remains. They pretend to stand beside you, yet heaven has shown that they are now positioned behind you, not in support, but in secrecy. This former friend, the one whose name was mentioned in the angelic dispatch, now hides behind blight shadows. They have mastered the art of disguise, not with masks, but with mannerisms. Their face wears familiarity, but their heart has aligned elsewhere. And you can feel it, not with your mind, but with your spirit. Your spirit has picked up what your heart didn't want to admit. People are talking. Oh yes, they're whispering. You've caught fragments in conversation. You've noticed the changes in how others treat you. There are pauses where there used to be laughter. There are glances that don't match the words. There are broken pieces of a picture you can't quite assemble, yet. But here's what the Spirit wants you to understand. Your peace has not been stolen by accident. It has been tempered with, spiritually, deliberately, quietly. There is a subtle sabotage happening beneath the surface. They know something, but not all of it. They know your next is coming, and their fear of your future has triggered a quiet betrayal. It didn't happen in a moment, It unfolded in gradual compromise. One jealous thought, one envious word, one private conversation that began with, "I probably shouldn't say this," and just like that, a friend became a spy. A supporter became a saboteur. The real betrayal isn't public, it's veiled in silence. And that's why it hurts more. Because it isn't the betrayal you see that wounds you deepest, it's the one you feel. That strange tension you've tried to shake off. That unease that rises in you when they draw near. That moment when you know they are smiling with their lips, but not their spirit. Heaven sees all of it. You were not wrong to feel it. You were not paranoid. That wasn't drama. That was discernment. The Holy Spirit was whispering to you even when you tried to give them the benefit of the doubt. But now, the whisper has become a thunder. Now, the divine interruption has begun. Their intentions have shifted. Their words about you have changed in circles you are not even present in. But heaven was there. Heaven heard it. Heaven recorded it. Archangel Michael was dispatched because of it. And now, God says to you, do not confront it yet. Observe it. Recognize it. Let me unveil it. This is not about petty conflict. This is about a spiritual disturbance rooted in jealousy and disguised in civility. Let your silence be your strength. Let your awareness be your weapon. Because the mask is slipping, and their secrets will not remain hidden for long. God is not mocked, and what had been sown in shadows will soon reap exposure in the light. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $10. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the Support Here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And don't forget to subscribe for ongoing prophetic insight, spiritual guidance, and messages that meet you right where you are. The space was created for you. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. Let this be clear. This is not gossip. This is not a matter of hearsay or emotional offense. This is spiritual warfare, carefully cloaked in the garments of friendship. It's not about what was said. It's about what was summoned behind your back. There is a spiritual battle taking place, not over your feelings, but over your future. This person wasn't just someone from your past. They were connected to your path. Was an alignment, no misassignment. They saw your glow but misunderstood your grind. They witnessed your rising but underestimated the cost. And now, your very obedience, yes, your faithfulness in hard seasons, has made them uncomfortable. Because while you were bleeding in private, they were busy branding their own image of you in public. But listen, heaven saw your obedience in pain. Heaven took record of the times you chose humility when you could have responded in pride. The moments you gave when you were empty. The times you prayed for others while no one knew you were breaking inside. Every tear, every betrayal, every silent cry, none of it was wasted. God does not forget loyalty in the dark. That is why the attack isn't about you. It's about your calling. You are not just under observation. You are under targeted spiritual surveillance because your next season is dangerous to the enemy. Your obedience is too loud. Your resilience is too firm. Your heart, though wounded, is still beating for heaven. That kind of resolve threatens darkness. And this is why Archangel Michael has stepped in. He stands now, not beside your flesh, but between your truth and their lies. He is the warrior positioned between their manipulation and your mission. He is guarding the entrance of your elevation, ensuring no counterfeit connection contaminates your anointing. You were never meant to fight this in the flesh. This battle is not about personality. It's about principalities. It's not about rulers. It's about assignments. God isn't trying to protect your reputation. He's preserving your relevance in the spirit. Your rise has drawn attention in realms you cannot see. But the Lord says, the weapons formed will not prosper, but they may rattle. Yes, the attacks may shake your emotions, but they cannot shake your position. You are anchored by grace and fortified by the blood. Remember this, not everyone who started with you was meant to finish with you, and not every friendship was meant to last through your transformation. Some connections were only meant for the caterpillar version of you, not the butterfly. Their resentment isn't about you changing, it's about you evolving beyond their expectations. So, stop grieving what God is pruning. Stop defending what heaven is dethroning. You are not losing people, you are shedding weight. And this conflict, this shift, this disruption, it is proof that you are moving forward. Let the former friend fall away if they must. Let their opinions crash against the fortress of your peace. Because what you're fighting is not them, it's the Spirit operating through them. And Archangel Michael is not at war with people. He wars with the powers behind the scenes. So rest. Stay alert, but rest. You are not outnumbered. You are not unguarded. You are not unnoticed. Heaven is moving for you. Type I am shielded in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1717 is now hovering over your life. Within 72 hours, confrontation may come uninvited. These were the words whispered to the watcher angels. These were the words etched in flame across the pages of heaven's scroll. This is not just a warning. It is a divine schedule. The clock is not ticking out of fear, but out of prophecy. The confrontation will not ask permission. It will not be scheduled. It will not be civilized. It will rise like steam from a boiling pot, unannounced, uncontrolled, and unrelenting. Heaven is alerting you ahead of time because the enemy is arrogant. They believe their plot is hidden. They believe their whispers have evaporated into nothing. But heaven catches every murmur. The Spirit of God discerns even the heartbeats of the wicked. And God is sending you this message, not to panic, but to prepare. A shift is coming. Their words have ripened in darkness, and they are no longer satisfied with background betrayal. They want reaction. They want chaos. They want to provoke you out of posture, hoping to drag your anointed name into the dirt of their narrative. But God says, hold your peace. For I have drawn the line in the Spirit, and any weapon that crosses it will crumble in my fire. Your plot is brewing like a storm behind clouds, and soon they will test the winds. But the Lord has declared that their attempts will not hit their mark. You may feel the winds of tension. You may sense the unease. You may even begin to wonder if the battle is already unfolding. And yes, it is, but not in the way they think. For in this very moment, you are being clothed in divine stealth. You are being wrapped in spiritual camouflage. Their efforts to find weakness in you will be thwarted by the wall of angels that now surrounds you. They are seeking confrontation, but all they will find is the silence of a guarded one. The time for pretending is nearing its expiration. Masks will melt in the fire of God's exposure. They have worn the garments of loyalty long enough. But heaven is about to undress the lie. And when it happens, it will not be by your hand, but by heaven's own voice. Is that spiritual pressure? Yes, expect emotional confusion. This is not just warfare. This is a storm of separation. But do not panic. Do not retaliate. And do not step out of your ordained posture. The test is not whether you win the argument. The test is whether you trust the God of vengeance more than the comfort of clarity. Do not engage. I repeat, do not engage. Because divine exposure is already at hand. God does not need your explanation to execute his judgment. The confrontation that is coming will not be your downfall. It will be their unveiling. And in that unveiling, heaven will exonerate you without your mouth having to move. You will watch what was hidden collapse in daylight. And the Spirit says, this message is your early exit from the snare. You are being given a supernatural escape from a very natural trap. What they meant as bait, God has turned into revelation. What they planned as sabotage, heaven has framed as strategy. And in 72 hours, the unraveling will begin. So be ready. Watch it. Discern. Stay quiet. But do not be surprised when truth walks into the room uninvited and stands beside you, silent but undeniable. Type I am prepared in the comments if you receive this message. Lesson code 333 is now defending you from hidden traps. Be still. Let that settle in your spirit. Let it drown out every voice of panic, every echo of fear, every mental rehearsal of what you will say if they come for you. Just be still. For heaven is already in position above you. The hosts of the Most High are not preparing. They are already stationed. The perimeter of your life has been surrounded. Angelic enforcement is not pending. It is present. This is not your hour to explain. This is not your hour to defend. This is your hour to hide. Not in fear, but in wisdom. You must stay hidden in prayer, hidden in praise, hidden in the shadow of the Almighty. For in this hidden place, your enemies lose their aim. In this secret place, their words fall flat. Your darts dissolve in the glory cloud that surrounds you. Let silence cover you like a shield. The less you say, the more heaven does. Do not broadcast what God is still building in private. Do not disclose what heaven has not yet revealed. Some battles are won not through declarations but through discretion. Your voice is powerful, yes. But in this moment, your silence is even more dangerous to the enemy's camp. Withdraw without fear. Pull back your energy. Pull back your access. Pull back your trust from those who no longer carry it well. You owe no explanation to those who have already misunderstood your heart. This is not rudeness. This is reverence for the call on your life. Silence is your shield. It is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is restraint. It is strategic obedience. And make no mistake, angels are flanking your spirit's perimeter. They are turning back words spoken in envy. They are reversing spells released in bitterness. They are shielding your dreams, your sleep, your mind, and your clarity. You may not see it, but the clash of swords is echoing in the spiritual dimension even as you listen now. Do not let your heart be troubled. When you sense the pressure rising, do not interpret it as abandonment. Interpret it as protection. Pressure is the outer sign of inner separation. God is peeling things off of you that you could not release on your own. That's why it feels uncomfortable, but necessary. And in this sacred stillness, you will begin to hear the voice of the Lord more clearly. The static of false friendships has been silenced. Now the frequency of heaven is open again. Let that voice lead you. Let it cleanse the wounds. Let it remind you who you are, not what they said you were. And if they come looking for you, spiritually, emotionally, socially, let your lack of response preach its own gospel. God said, "Let no response be your response." He will fight for you while you hold your peace. He will lift your name while you stay low. He will justify your silence by broadcasting your rise. Rest in the assurance, you are not unguarded. You are hidden in Him. Type "I am hidden" in God in the comments if you receive this message. Lesson code 4545 is now covering you in angelic security. You are not who you were when they last knew you. That version of you, the one who needed their approval, the one who dimmed your light to keep their comfort, the one who swallowed discernment in the name of peace, that version had been laid to rest. And quietly, heaven has resurrected something bolder, wiser, unshakable. While they rehearsed betrayal in back rooms, God was rewriting your identity in the throne room. Heaven hath been transforming you, not in public applause, but in private agony. Your strength wasn't born in spotlight. It was birthed in silence. It was formed in fire. The sleepless nights weren't just survival. They were your anointing being distilled, your roots being deepened, your authority being sealed. Let them mock what they don't understand. Their mockery is the background music to your emergence. Let them underestimate you. Let them assume the version they remember still exists, because what they think they see is only a reflection of who you used to be. They can't recognize the new oil because it wasn't poured in front of them. It was pressed out in the secret place. It was refined in the midnight hour. You were becoming royal while they were busy rehearsing rumors. Shed the victim identity. Cast off the garment of confusion. Rip the label they tried to sew into your soul. You are not fragile. You are not confused. You are not lost. You are being revealed, not to brew a point, but to fulfill a prophecy. You are not just walking into a new season. You are walking into a new self. The fire didn't burn you. It burned off what no longer fit. It burned the bridges you were too loyal to burn. It burned the ropes they tried to bind you with. And out of the ashes, a sound has risen, a roar, not a whisper. Your voice is no longer timid. It carries weight, not because of volume, but because of victory. And yes, their plan was real. Their betrayal was real. But it made you stronger, not smaller. It made you sharper, not bitter. It made you more aware, not more afraid. It taught you not to fear separation, but to bless it. Because the ones who walk away when you ascend were never meant to touch your throne. You have wings now, not metaphorical ones, real ones, spiritual ones. Wings forged from every heartbreak. Wings sewn with every scripture you clung to and no one knew you were breaking. Wings empowered by divine grace. And these wings are not for decoration. They are for flying. You are meant to soar now. Higher. Further. Without apology. Without delay. Heaven is not asking you to explain why you've changed. Heaven is commanding you to embrace it. God did not pull you out of the fire for you to crawl back into familiar cages. You're too large for old atmospheres. You're too awakened for fake peace. You're too called to entertain counterfeits any longer. This is the season to walk in your full frame. Willed, upright, oil. And if they call it arrogance, let them. You no longer live for their approval. You live for heaven's applause. Do not apologize for the growth they didn't witness. Do not shrink to make others feel secure. Stand in your fullness. Speak what heaven prompts, and soar when God signals. Type "I have risen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 717 is surrounding your next fight. Now hear this, beloved. This entire conflict, this drama, this sudden distance, This betrayal that stunned you into silence, it is not random. It is a divine setup for a spiritual promotion. You are in the midst of a heavenly test, not to see if you will fight, but to see if you will discern. To see if you will trust heaven's timing over human tension. The former friend was once alignment. Yes, they were once an answer to prayer. Once a comfort in the wilderness. But now, their role has expired. They were once sent to walk with you. Now they are being used to push you. What was once a blessing has become a barrier. They are no longer part of your elevation. They are the test before it. Misassignment masquerades as comfort. That's why it was so hard to release. But God, in His infinite wisdom, is removing what your heart wouldn't. Because the throne before you cannot be approached in entanglement. The favor that's falling on your name is too weighty to carry old ties. The oil on your life demands separation before manifestation. You wondered why God was silent. Why didn't He warn you earlier? Why didn't He intervene when the betrayal first began? And here's your answer. God's silence was never absence. It was strategy. While you were waiting on an explanation, heaven was orchestrating an elevation. This betrayal was the divine key to unlock your next season. It had to sting so you'd step out. It had to surprise you so you wouldn't settle. The pain forced you to look up, and in looking up, you saw the door that was always there. This moment is not your undoing. It is your unveiling. You've been spiritually upgraded without notice. God didn't need a ceremony. He didn't need a stage. He didn't even need a permission. While others were watching your downfall, heaven was announcing your promotion in angelic circles. Archangel Michael saw this long before it began. That's why he was sent. He wasn't sent to prevent the betrayal. He was sent to protect you through it. His sword is not just for war. It's for severing what cannot go with you. And with one heavenly strike, He is cutting you free from the manipulation disguised as friendship. You've outgrown the space they knew you in. You surpassed the version of you they were comfortable with. Now, your name is echoing in divine chambers. Your name is being called in boardrooms of heaven. Your name is being recorded in scrolls that govern the next revival. And the seal upon your name is not shame, it is favor. They will not understand how you got here. They will not know when the shift happened. But God says, they don't need to know. They weren't part of the promise. They were part of the process. The rejection was redirection. The betrayal was propulsion. And the silence was divine confirmation. Your name is known in heaven. And what heaven knows, hell cannot block. The favor is irreversible. The promotion is sealed. And the oil is flowing now. If this revelation is speaking to your spirit, and you feel led to support the release of more prophetic messages like this, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your support helps us share these powerful insights with more souls who need them. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Subscribe now to receive ongoing prophetic alerts, spiritual instruction, and divine empowerment to guide your walk. You don't want to miss what heaven says next. Type I am favored in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 8181 is marking your name in heavenly scrolls. Say yes, not to what was, not to what almost was, but to what is now unfolding in heaven's design. This is not the season to hesitate. This is not the time to ask for all the details. This is the hour of your destiny's ignition. And your yes is the match. Say it before you see it. Say it while your hands are still trembling. Say it while your emotions are still recovering. Say it while your heart is still healing. Because heaven doesn't need your clarity to move. Heaven needs your agreement. This divine moment has not arrived by chance. It was written. It was woven into the fabric of your creation. Before you were ever wounded by betrayal, before your name was ever mishandled in the mouth of a friend, heaven had already set this moment aside as a portal of activation. This is not recovery. This is release. Your agreement with heaven is not casual. It is contractual. When you say yes to what God is unfolding, you are not merely participating, you are legislating. You are co-signing the blueprint of glory over your life. And when that yes rises from your spirit, not just your lips, it begins to unlock access. It triggers movement in places you've never seen. It causes scrolls to unroll. It sends angels into motion. It causes the heavens to respond with acceleration. Begin declaring, I am rising beyond falsehood. Say it out loud. Lot for the ethics of whatever truth. Because every time you speak it, you sever the ties of emotional warfare. Every time you declare it, you strip power from the lie spoken in secret. Your voice is not just sound, it is activation. Heaven is not passive, it is listening, waiting, ready. But the next movement depends not just on revelation but on action. Faith without works is stillborn prophecy. You must match what you know with how you move. This isn't about proving your worth. It's about embodying your authority. Heaven doesn't want performance. It wants alignment. Walk like it's already done. Speak like it's already unlocked. Move like the next room already has your name on the door. And yes, they may not understand why you're pulling back, why you're quieter now, why you no longer fight for the tables God's called you to walk away from. Let them wonder. Let them speculate. You are not running from a battle, you are walking into a crown. And royalty doesn't shout. Royalty doesn't defend. Royalty simply ascends. Move in quiet strength. Not arrogance, not bitterness, but bold, unapologetic clarity. This is who you are now, and this is what you were always meant to become. The you that forgave in silence, the you that kept showing up despite the pressure, the you that kept sowing in dry seasons. Heaven is honoring that version of you now, the pure version, the obedient version. So do not mourn the delay. It wasn't denial, it was divine alignment. If it had come sooner, you would have invited the wrong people into a promise they did have the character to honor. But now that you see, now that you discern, now that you've been refined, the activation begins. Rise now. Type yes to destiny in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1919 is now unlocking new access gates around you. You didn't see it, but while you rested, heaven moved. When you were unaware, the Spirit began to orchestrate an exchange so sacred, so supernatural, that if you saw it with your natural eyes, it would leave you speechless. This was no ordinary transaction. This was a divine retrieval, a sacred retrieval, of every part of you that had been stolen, traded, or tampered with in secret. While others used your name in dark places, heaven whispered it in holy places. While they sowed rumors, the Spirit sowed restoration. While they built walls, the angels were building ladders. Divine deals were made in the unseen night hours. Promises were reclaimed. Inheritances were returned. Oil was poured. Archangel Michael did not just stand beside you. He moved for you. He stepped between you and every altar your name had been falsely placed on. He stood before every curse and declared, This one is sealed by heaven. He negotiated victory, not with man, but with realms. Not with words, but with authority. The authority of the King of Glory. What looked like loss was a hidden transference. You thought it was over. You thought you were being emptied. But heaven was switching the weight. You weren't losing. You were trading. God was removing what could not go and returning what was always yours. The people who left were not your loss. They were your release. The confusion wasn't your punishment. It was the camouflage for a sacred shift. And in that quiet shift, heaven restored you. The version of you that was silenced by trauma. The fire in you that was dimmed by betrayal. The boldness in you that was buried under fake loyalty. One by one, the Spirit picked up each broken piece and exchanged it for something stronger. There is a reason you've been feeling unsettled. A reason you've been waking up at strange hours. A reason your spirit has been stirred even in stillness. It's because your soul felt what your mind couldn't yet explain. You were uneasy because your spirit saw ahead. You were sensing the rumble of glory, the closing of old gates, and the unlocking of new ones. The shaking wasn't chaos, it was calibration. The friction wasn't warfare, it was a wind changing direction. And now, the shift is complete. The deal is done. The scroll is sealed. This spiritual exchange cannot be explained in words. It cannot be validated by opinions. But those who carry discernment, they will see it. They will sense the oil on you now. The calm. The power. The silence that now carries thunder. You don't have to prove what's changed. Heaven already has. All that was taken in secret is returning publicly. The same eyes that watched you endure will witness you rise. The same lips that spoke against you will be silenced by what God does next. You are not walking back into normal. You are walking into dominion. Let them stare. Let them wonder. You owe them no access to what heaven now protects. You are not bitter. You are not cold. You are guarded by grace. And that grace is loud even in silence. Archangel Michael remains at the gate. Not because you're in danger, but because you've just entered a divine realm of access and authority. You are now walking under the watch of heaven's elite forces. Nothing passes unless it bows. So rest. Smile. Move carefully. For you are no longer walking alone. You are walking under divine transaction. Type I receive the exchange in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing Code 2020 has initiated a public return of what was stolen. What they planted in secret, the whispers, the misrepresentation, the seeds of confusion, will not remain buried. No, it will bloom. But not in the way they intended. What they meant to cultivate in secrecy will now be exposed in light. The soil they tried to turn against you will become the very ground that reveals their hand. God has seen it all. God has heard every careless word. God has recorded every manipulation cloaked in kindness. And now the judge of heaven is standing to rule. Spiritual justice is not like man's justice. It does not wait on consensus. It does not require courtroom permission. It moves when truth has reached its tipping point in the spirit. And beloved, the tipping point hath been reached. God's justice does not miss a single whispered word. Every scheme crafted behind your back is now being reversed. Every curse released in private is now returning to sender, not because you fought back, but because you stood still. Your tears were not ignored. They were gathered. Your silence was not weakness. It was intercession. Every night you chose grace over revenge. Every moment you chose worship over war. Heaven took note. And now, the reversal begins. What once looked like your humiliation will now be the platform of your vindication. They said your name in rooms they thought you'd never enter. They twisted your character while shaking your hand. But what they did not know is that God never sleeps, and the very table they tried to keep you from is being prepared now, not in private but in public, in the presence of your enemies, in the sight of the same ones who thought they had successfully rewritten your story. God is not only restoring you privately, He is about to lift you loudly, loud enough that those who partnered with the plot will have no choice but to watch your ascension, loud enough that the Spirit will silence the voices that once echoed with accusation. You won't need to announce your rise. Heaven will do that for you. And hear this clearly. Your vindication is not for revenge. It's for revelation. When you rise, the glory will not point to you. It will point to the one who kept you. It will preach the gospel of divine reversal louder than any sermon ever could. The story they tried to write about you will be edited by God's hand. He's the author, not them. He's the finisher, not them. And He's about to turn the final page. They will watch your rising from the shadows. They'll pretend to cheer, but heaven will reveal the truth. Not to embarrass them, but to set you completely free from the fear of their return. The cycle ends here. The door is sealed. The lesson is complete. This is your season of reversal. And everything they thought would stick, every lie, every limitation, every label, is being stripped from your name. God says, I will prepare a table before you not after the battle, but in the presence of those who wished for your downfall. So let the table be set. Let the oil flow. Let your posture remain holy. For the judge is not just ruling for you. He is establishing you before them. If this prophetic word is confirming what you've sensed in your spirit, and you feel led to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $5. Your support fuels the creation of more spirit-led content that continues reaching those in need of divine clarity and strength. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the Support Here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Don't forget to subscribe for ongoing revelations, spiritual warfare strategies, and prophetic words that prepare, protect, and position you for God's purpose in your life. Type Divine Reversal is mine in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 3030 is reversing the hidden accusations and restoring your divine record. You are protected. You are rising. You are seen. You have not been overlooked. You have not been forgotten. Every trial has been weighed. Every betrayal has been reviewed. Every lonely night, every silent scream, every private moment of surrender, it has all reached heaven's ears. And now, God is responding not with mere comfort, but with confirmation. The season you are walking into will not resemble what you came out of. You are not circling the same pain. You are not returning to the same atmosphere. You are not tied to the same names. Your release has been signed, sealed, and delivered from the throne of God. Heaven speaks your name. Heaven has validated your identity. And more than that, heaven has defended your name. There is a war in the heavens every time your destiny is mentioned. You don't realize it yet, but angels have fought through demonic resistance just to make sure this message reached you in this moment. Because this was more than a video. This was a spiritual encounter. You have been seen. Not just by prophets, not just by watchers, but by the Lord of hosts himself. And when God sees you, truly sees you, no lie can stand, no enemy can win, and no former friend can rewrite the script of your life. Let no shadow shake your certainty anymore. Let no betrayal distort your identity. You are not just a survivor. You are anointed. You are not just chosen. You are commissioned. And your name carries weight in realms your enemies don't even believe exist. So breathe deeply. Exhale the fear. Inhale the fire. You are no longer asking for permission to move forward. You are no longer questioning your authority. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. Your next steps are not reactive. They are royal. Your next move is not revenge. It is revelation. You do not need to go back and explain anything to anyone. What God is doing now will speak for itself. Walk in dignity. Speak with clarity. Move with grace. You are not coming out wounded. You are emerging weaponized with wisdom. The betrayal taught you more than you asked for. But now you know. And now you rise. Your time has come. Your light has broken forth. Your angels are already positioned. And the gates of your next season are already swinging open. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. Now rise. Type I am sent in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 4444 is marking your path with divine alignment and elevation.